Hey guys, and welcome back to another week of Porsche Cup action here at the Road Atlanta circuit for week 5 of 2024 season 3. My name's Matt Emery. I'm here with Coach Dave Academy. Let's firstly get into the hot lap. So let's get into the hot lap guide then for the Road Atlanta circuit. Now, quite a tricky track to get right with a lot of bumps, a lot of elevation. So yeah, we start the lap here with the final corner, hopping over the curb on the inside there. Head down towards turn 1, open up as much as you can to the left-hand side. Just using this white line to turn in from. Starting to hit the brakes, just in line with this 100-meter board on the left-hand side, or just after it. Down to 4th gear at the apex, and then back on the throttle, all about the minimum speed this corner, to try and carry it through as much as you can. You notice the braking again, we're just carrying that all the way into the apex, and then get back on the full throttle as soon as you can. So yeah, holding the brake all the way into the apex, onto full throttle in 4th gear, and then we climb back up the hill, and then already we're starting to trail brake all the way from back here, just holding it about 5 or 10%, just holding the brake pedal there just to help stabilise the car over this crest. Down to 3rd gear, and then as you can see, as we get close to the corner, we're just bringing up the brake pressure as well, just over that curb, and then as we hit the apex, we come off the brake pedal and back onto the throttle. This corner is actually really difficult in terms of your reference points for turning in. As you can see, you can't really see much coming over. Really, if you want to reference the end of this curb, you're looking to start turning in over the crest. So it's something that can help you if you are struggling with finding that reference point. It is a bit of a track where you really need to get into the rhythm and learn your reference points yourself. But yeah, end of this curb is where you sort of looking to typically turn in. 3rd gear over the apex curve, really easy to also pick up and off track, so make sure you're not cutting this one too much. The limit is about where we are at the moment, so can't really go, as long as you're not all 4 wheels off the track, you should be okay. But that's a general reference. The next left-hander then, as we plunge back down the hill again, make sure we have our tyres hooked over this curb just to make sure we get that turn in and open up the next S, or next part of the S's as well. You notice we're not full throttle here yet, so we're just feathering the throttle, come off it slightly, using that curb to hook us round, up to 4th gear, and then full throttle all the way down here. Slight lift here as we hop over the curb, and then back on the full throttle. And then braking all the way from back here, just to stabilise the car. You notice we're really gentle on the brake and just holding that pressure all the way into the corner, all the way up the hill. Using all of this curb on the right-hand side as well, just before we turn in, just to open up the corner as much as we can and carry through that minimum speed. Really important, this circuit, just to make sure we aren't scrubbing too much speed off. Make sure we're carrying that minimum all the way through the corners. Down to 3rd gear, hopping over the inside curb as well, making sure we're, again, getting our tyres hooked over the curb. Slightly touching the grass as well, so just something to bear in mind. Same with turn 3 as well, just hooking over and getting that apex rotation. Back on full throttle as soon as we can, using all of the curb on the outside. As long as we're not touching the gravel here, you should be okay in terms of off tracks. and then you just use all the curb you can available to you just to carry that speed again. Up to 4th gear, get it back over to the left-hand side for the next double right-hander. Braking just before this 200-meter board on the left-hand side. You've got a handy line in the middle of the circuit as well. So just starting to brake just before that, about 225 meters. Down to 3rd gear again. Just using the camber of the road as well to get the car rotated. We're not touching the curb as it unstabilizes the car slightly. But yeah, 3rd gear. Make sure we're turning in slightly early. Just get it into the camber. You can see the road sort of falls away at the apex. And that will really help get the car rotated. So just make sure we aren't missing that. If you do go slightly wide, you'll just lose heaps of time. So better to turn in slightly early here. Just make sure we get into that camber. And yeah, as I say, really easy to go wide here if you're not in that camber. Down to 2nd gear for this second right-hander. Braking on the curb. There's not really too much of a reference to use, so it's just more of things that you can notice around the track. So just halfway onto this curb, starting to turn in. Down to 2nd gear. Make sure we get the best exit possible. Using the apex curb as well. And onto full throttle as early as we can. Again, just notice we're holding onto the brake pedal until we hit the apex as well, which is how you really want to drive this car. Back onto the throttle then, using all of the curb on the exit, just to make sure we get the best run possible onto the long straight. And then sticking it to the left-hand side, all the way to the white line. And then gradually bring it over to the middle of the circuit to prepare for the final heavy braking zone on this circuit. Stick it to the right-hand side, just hugging this line all the way down. And then heavy braking zone just before the 100-meter boards. About 125 meters or so before the corner. Really the heaviest braking zone on the circuit. Down the hill as well, so the car's compressing as you're braking. About 85-90% on the brake pedal. And then slowly just trail it off towards the apex, down to 2nd gear. Using all of this curb we can on the inside. Just play it through a few once more. You notice as well, we're just as close as we can to open up the corner to the right-hand side curb on the entry. And then slowly just trailing the brake off towards the apex. Cutting this one as much as we can. You also notice we're short shifting to 3rd gear as well, just to help the traction on exit. And then full throttle briefly, you notice, and then just feathering the throttle, sorry, through this final corner, just to make sure we don't overstep the rear. Full throttle on the exit using all of this curb, and then plunging back down the hill for the final time as we head through the final corner, making sure we take as much curb as we can on the inside. If you hook your tyre nicely onto the grass, you don't feel too much of the bump of the curb, and you can just carry more of that speed through the final corner and across the line. So that was the hot lap guide then for the Road Atlanta circuit for week 5 of 2024 season 3. My name's been Matt Emery with Coach Dave Academy. Obviously check out our website, coachdaveacademy.com, and the Discord channel down below. All the latest data packs, any help you need can be found down there. But I will see you next week for week 6. Take care, guys.